Hello, my dear students, and a very warm welcome back. I know exams are right around the corner, and sometimes this chapter, Anatomy of Flowering Plants, can be a little confusing, but don't you worry one bit. Today, we're going to make it super simple in this quick revision explainer.
I know. Dicot root, monocot stem. All these diagrams can sometimes feel like a tangled mess in your head, right? But trust me, by the end of this short session, you are going to be a pro. We'll break it all down so simply, I promise you'll remember it. Chalo, let's begin.
Okay, so first things first. Before we jump into all the complicated stuff, let's think about a really simple idea. A plant. You know, it's built very logically, just like a building. A building has outer walls for protection, right? It has rooms inside, and it has pipes for water. Well, a plant has the exact same kind of setup.
And here they are. You just need to remember these three basic systems. Number 1 is the epidermal system. Think of it as the plant's skin. Number 2, the ground system. That's all the filling on the inside. And number 3, the vascular system. These are the pipes that carry everything around. That's it. Skin, filling, and pipes. Simple, isn't it? So let's start with the skin, the epidermal tissue system. It's pretty straightforward. Just like our skin protects our body, this is the outermost layer that protects the entire plant. It's the plant's security guard, its first line of defense.
Now, a super important part of this skin is this amazing little thing, the stomata. These are tiny pores. You'll mostly find them on leaves. And you see those two bean-shaped cells? Those are called guard cells. They're so clever. They open and close the pore to let the plant breathe in carbon dioxide and breathe out oxygen. So yeah, this is literally how a plant breathes.
Okay, next up is the ground tissue system. The rule is simple. If it's not the skin on the outside, and it's not one of the pipes, then it's ground tissue. Think of it as all the stuffing that makes up the main body of the plant. And this is where all the important work gets done, like making food through photosynthesis or storing it for later.
And finally, we have the vascular system, the plant's internal plumbing. It has two parts. First, you have xylem, which acts like water pipes, carrying water from the roots all the way up. And then you have phloem, which is kind of like the plant's personal zomato or swiggy. It delivers the food made in the leaves to all the other parts of the plant.
Great, so now we know the basic building blocks. Let's get to everyone's favorite exam topic, the difference between dicots and monocots. Remember, mono means one seed leaf, and di means two. Let's see how this one small difference changes the entire plant, starting from the bottom with the roots.
Okay, look really close now. These diagrams are straight from your textbook. On the left, we have a dicot root. On the right, a monocot root. From the outside, they look pretty similar, don't they? But I want you to zoom in on that central part, the vascular cylinder. Can you see a difference in the pattern? Go on, pause and take a good look. Did you spot it? Here are the two main differences you absolutely have to know for your exam. In a dicot root, there are just a few xylem bundles, usually between 2 and 4. But look at the monocot root. There are many of them, always more than 6. And the second thing is the pith, that part right in the center. In dicots, it's really small or not even air. But in monocots, the pith is large and very clear. Just remember these 2 points.
All right, we've totally mastered the roots. Now let's move up the plant and check out the stem. This is another one of those questions that examiners just love to ask, so let's pay close attention.
Whoa, okay, look at that. The difference here is so obvious, isn't it? On the left is the dicot stem, and on the right, the monocot stem. See those little circles? Those are the vascular bundles. And you can see right away, their arrangement is completely different. So here's the biggest difference you need to remember. In dicot stems, the vascular bundles are arranged in a perfect, beautiful ring. But in monocot stems, they're just scattered all over the place. Another key thing is something called cambium. Dicots have it, which lets them grow thicker over time. Monocots don't. And I have a little trick so you remember this forever. Just think D for dicot and D for disciplined. The bundles are in a disciplined ring. But monocot stems, they're just scattered everywhere, kind of like you and your friends running around in the playground during recess. Easy to remember, nah? All right, we've tackled the root and the stem. It's time for the final showdown, the leaf. Let's find out what's different on the inside of these leaves. Okay, so here are the cross sections of the leaves. The dicot leaf on the left has a very clear top side and bottom side. You know how the top is usually darker green? That's why it's called dorsiventral. But the monocot leaf on the right, like a blade of grass, it looks pretty much the same on both sides. So we call that isolateral. Let's break that down. Look at the ground tissue inside, the mesophyll. In the dicot leaf, you can see it split into two layers. There's a tightly packed palisade layer on top to catch sunlight and a loose, spongy layer below to let gases move around. But in the monocot leaf, it's all just one type of tissue. And the stomata? In dicots, they're mostly on the bottom, but in monocots, they're spread out equally on both sides. Okay, Beta, we have covered all the major differences. Now for the most important part of our revision. Let's put everything together into a super summary, a cheat sheet for your last-minute prep.
This slide right here is your golden ticket. Seriously, take a screenshot of this. It has everything you need in one place. For the root, few xylem in dicots, many in monocots. For the stem, bundles in a ring for dicots, scattered for monocots. And for the leaf, differentiated mesophyll in dicots, undifferentiated in monocots. Just learn this table and you are all set for any comparison question.
Cholo, let's practice with a real exam question. Imagine the examiner shows you a slide of a stem and asks, is this a monocot or a dicot stem? And you have to give reasons. How are you going to frame that perfect answer?
Here is your perfect full marks answer. You just need to write two main points. First, you say, the vascular bundles are scattered and not arranged in a ring, which is a key feature of a monocot stem. And second, the vascular bundles are closed, which means cambium is absent. These 2 points are more than enough to prove it's a monocot stem. Simple, clear, and straight to the point.
And that's a wrap. See? You've just revised the most important concepts of this entire chapter. I know you can do it. You are all so brilliant and you're well prepared. Now go and ace that exam. And hey, before you go, drop a comment below and let me know which chapter you're struggling with, and I'll simplify it for you next. All the very best.